Hello everyone and welcome to Stacks FX. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Fib retracements as a confluence and possible entries. As you can see on the screen, I've got down 6 easy steps on how to use the Fib retracement. Let's go through them and then we'll move down to examples and how we would enter on a live market. Step 1, identify low and high. Step 2, draw Fib from low to high when looking for buys. Draw Fib from high to low when looking for sells. Step 3, wait for pullback to golden zone or 0.786 zone. Step 4, wait for confirmation candle. Step 5 is to say stop loss below the low of pullback when in buys, stop loss above the high of pullback when in sells. Step 6, take profit at Fib suggestion or previous high from the left when in buys. Take profit at Fib suggestion or previous low from the left when in sells. I know this might seem confusing and everything, but then I'll explain once we move down to the examples. So, okay, let's move down to an example I throw out for you guys. Right now, we're going to be looking at examples of how the Fib retracement works, following our steps. So by following our steps, step 1 stated that we identify our low and high. So right here, we can see for buys, if we're looking for buys, when we identify our lows. So let me just use my ellipse. So as you can see here, right here is our low. That's what step 1 says, identify your low. And also we need to identify our high. So that was our low. This was our high. And the reason this is our high, because we always use the high before the pullback. So, okay, step 1 was to identify low and high, which is done. And then step 2 is to grow the Fib from low to high when you're looking for buys. So let me just remove this for you guys. Then we'll move on. Okay. Okay, so from now, we move on to step 2, grow the Fib from your low to high. So I'm going to get my Fib 2. Okay, then we're going to grow it from my low to my high, which is right here, right? So grow to my high, and I'm just going to move this right to the right just so I can see that all the numbers properly. And there we go. So step 2 is done. Step 3 is to wait for price to pull back to the golden zone and the 0.786 zone. So as you can see here, I made the golden zone yellow or gold for you guys, as you can see, which is the 0.5 zone or the 0.618 zone. And then right here, down here, let me just do this. Down here, you guys can see this. Right here is the 0.78 zone. So price doesn't always have to, let me just remove this. So price doesn't always have to pull back to the golden zone, which is why I also stated that price could also pull back at the 0.786 zone. So that was step 2, draw Fib from low to high, and we're done. Step 3 was to wait for pullback to golden zone or the 0.786 zone. So we can see here price came by our high and then pulled back to our golden zone. And then once we price pulled back to our golden zone, step 4 is to wait for confirmation candle to enter. So around about here, we're still going to move down to real price action. I'm just showing you guys drawing examples. So round about here, once price has came down or pulled back to our golden zone or our 0.786 zone, that's where we wait for confirmation candle to enter. So let's just say we found our confirmation candle here. That's where we're going to come here. Then look for buys. We're going to place our buys right there. And then remember, once we've waited, step 4 was to wait for confirmation candle so we could enter. So let's assume we found our confirmation candle and we've entered. Step 4 was what? Stop loss. The reason I added step 4 and step 5 is because I believe that every trader, you should always trade with the stop loss and a take profit, So following our step 5, it says step 5 is place stop loss below the low of pullback. So our stop loss should be right below here. You see, exactly at the low of our pullback. So right there. And then our take profit. Remember our take profit, step 6. Now we're at step 6, which is our take profit. Take profit should always be at the Fib suggestion, which is up here. This is the Fib suggestion. Or right here, we don't have previous price because we're not looking at the real markets, but then we're still gonna move on to that and I'm gonna show you. So this is how you would have your entry towards the end once you've used the 6 steps. This is how it would look. Let's move down to sales. For sales, it's literally the same thing. It's just that it's reversed. Remember, for for sales, we're just gonna identify our high, our low. So right here, as you can see, right here, that's our high, and down here, that's our low. So step one is complete. We've identified. So let's do this. Let me just remove this for you guys. So then from here, what do? We move on to step two. Step two was to draw our fib. So this time we in sales. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw our fib from our high to low. So from right here to our low, which is the chair. And I'm just gonna move right so you can see the numbers. Okay, there we go. And then from here, step three is to wait for price to pull back to our zone. And we can see here what happened. We came down and then we pulled back to our zones. And then from there, same steps, we would wait for our confirmation candle roundabout here and then we would enter. So let's just say now we found our confirmation candle and then we place ourselves roundabout here. Then we move on. We move on to step five. Our stop loss should always be below the pullback. Don't forget that below the low of the pullback, so which is roundabout there. And then for our take profit, same thing. Fib suggestion, or you're gonna look left. For now, we can't look left, but then I'm gonna show you in real prices. So this is it for buys and sells for the Fib. Now let's move down to real price and see how price will play out. As you can see right now, we're gonna be looking at real price action. So what we're gonna be doing is following the same steps that we've been following, which is step one was to identify our low and high. So, okay, that is done. So from there, we're gonna move on to step two, which states that we should grow the Fib from low to high when in buys and high to low when in sells. So, okay, right here, I'm just gonna start it from here, from my low to my high. Then that's it for step two. We've identified our low and high, and we've drawn out our Fib. The third step was to wait for pullback to our golden zone, which is right here, or our 0.786 zone, which is right here. So let's see how price plays out. Okay, as you can see right here, price has touched our golden zone right here. So our fourth step is to wait for our confirmation candle. So let's see how price plays out and if we do get one. Okay, as you can see right here, we've got our confirmation candle, which is an inverted hammer right here, which indicates a bullish move. So from here, we're gonna enter our trade. Okay, there we go. And then from there, once we've entered, we're gonna move on to the fifth step. And the fifth step was to place stop loss below the low of pullback, which is gonna be around about here. And the step six was to place our take profit. So remember with our take profit, what I had said was you can use the Fib suggestion, which is up here, or what I suggest is that you look left and use that as your take profit. So as you can see here, this is our previous high from our left side. Let me just do this. Okay, there we go. So now we have a a zone we can use for our take profit right there. So there we go. And let's see how price plays out from here. We see price pushing up. Okay. Okay, there we go. TP has hit. So as you can see here, take profit has been hit and you're out of your trade. So that's it for the Fib. Thank you. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.